I have an NBA strategy that, if implemented, will change the game. My strategy is multi-pillared, so kind of stick with me for a little while and then judge. So first things first, I am going to, and some teams do this to a degree, but I would do it to the fullest extent. I would play my 5 starters, whatever amount of minutes you want to play them. If you want to play them 75% of the game, 36 minutes, maybe a little bit more, 40 minutes. I would play my 5 starters all together, and then I would play all my backups all together. And you can mix up the backups because obviously you have more than 10 guys on your active roster. So that's pillar one, is I would play all my guys together, and then I'd play my backups all together. And number one, most importantly, even if we're not going to add the other pillars to this, that improves cohesiveness and on both units, both the starting lineup and the backup unit, get more used to playing together because they're always playing in their position, they're always playing with teammates. So I think for just that instance, even if we're just going to talk about that, I think that makes more sense than switching up the lineups a lot. Now my second pillar, and this is where it gets interesting, because some of you might say, well, the reason why NBA teams never do this, NBA teams always have 2 to 4 starters on the floor. Usually they have at least one backup, probably 2 backups, maybe 1.5, the 6-man's kind of starter. They rarely are doing this because they never want to have to go to the backup lineup where they're going to get beat on a per 100 possessions. They're worse on offense, they're worse on defense. But here's how we can, to some degree, shorten that difference between I'm playing a team, I've got all my backups on the floor, which is going to be bad minutes, obviously, and I'm playing a team that has 4 starters on the floor. So how can we kind of close that gap? Because in the 40 minutes where I've got the starters on, they're going to beat the other team that has 3 or 4 starters on, ideally. It's not always going to work out like that, but ideally we have the advantage in 75 to 80% of the game. How can we kind of shorten that gap in that 15 to 20 to 25% of the game where we have the inferior lineup? It's never been tried in the NBA. I think you should intentionally cherry pick on every possession. Look, you've got backups in. They're not going to be great on offense. If you're a backup player, you're not a shot creator. You're not very efficient on offense. And same thing on defense. You are not a great defender. If you were a great defender and a great offensive player, you'd be in the starting lineup. So how can we kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone? So first thing, and it's going to be somewhat team dependent, not the cherry picking aspect. I think you should have 4 guys playing defense and 1 guy that kind of presses them in the full court and then just plays on the other half of the floor and essentially is getting an easy layup on almost every possession. I think that. Now you're going to be giving up threes and layups, so you're going to be giving up a lot of open threes. My ideal situation, unless you're playing a phenomenal 3-point shooting team to where they're shooting 60-70% from 3 on open looks, I would pack the paint, and we're going to get every rebound, and we're going to kick it full court, and you're going to get a lot of easy threes on us, for sure. We're going to get a lot of easy layups on you. And you're going to get a lot of easy layups on us and mid-range shots. If we can just get close to matching you, and we tire out your starters because our backups come out, and then because you're running this full court back and forth, down, back and forth, now you have to play down 1 or 2 starters against our 5 starters, and you're tired. So I think between the starters all play together, the cherry picking, and then the packing the paint, we're not going to give up layups. We'll give up everything else. And I know they're going to hit threes. Like, I know these guys, if they're giving open threes, they're going to hit them at a 50, 60, 70% clip. But we're going to have relatively easy layups on the other end. Any miss, we're kicking it out quickly. And any make, we've got a guy out of bounds that's whipping the full court. And every guy can make that pass. I mean, even if you're getting back on defense, we're still going to get some easy layups. So I think this is the strategy. Look, if you got a great team, if your team is deep, maybe you don't need to do this. If you're not a great team, especially if you just got a good starting 5, you don't have a lot of depth, maybe experiment with this. Maybe see how it works to get the cohesiveness of the first unit and then the cohesiveness of the second unit improved, as well as trying to shorten that gap on that second unit. Because obviously the second unit can't compete in a straight-up basketball game. But can we kind of even it out to a degree to where it's not that much damage? Can we do damage control?